What an exceptional group. We're honored to be here with 12 awardees, and I want to just, before introducing myself and our group here, I do want to just let you know, if you could stand up again, you deserve another round of applause. Our awards committee actually received over 65 nominations, and that's 65 stellar, astounding students who persevered despite a pandemic, despite all the challenges, despite the chaos in the world, despite the racism, the discrimination, war, and all the perils that come along with this world these days. 12 students among 65 excelled. And I think when we hear from each one of them, you'll notice that they weren't just excelling for themselves. They stood out because they had that sense of community. They had that sense of raising up a better experience for their peers and the world around them. So welcome again to this year's Senior Awards ceremony. My name is Maria Madison, and I'm one of the co-chairs of the awards committee of the Tufts Alumni Council. Welcome to the honorees, their family members and friends, university leaders, alumni, and other members of the Tufts community. We hope you're staying healthy and safe, and I know that you know we are here for you. I'd like to also extend an extremely warm welcome to our president, Monaco, who's done an extraordinary job during this pandemic. We all have experiences and observed what's going on in various campuses across the country, and Tufts has stood out as a leader across those universities. So thank you for joining us for this ceremony as we celebrate this year's senior awardees. I'm going to pause for a minute for you to read our mission and purpose as a university, especially because the 12 awardees embody those very principles. The Senior Awards ceremony was established in 1955 to celebrate the achievements, service, and dedication of some truly extraordinary Tufts alumni who inspire us. Thank you to the awards committee for your great work in selecting this year's honorees, and thank you in particular to my co-chairs sitting off to my right, your left, Peter Brodeur and Peter Bronk, for your leadership on this committee. Thank you as well to the nominators and supporters who introduce us to the excellent work of graduating seniors from the School of Arts and Sciences, including the School of the Museum of Fine Arts and the School of Engineering. You'll see a list of those who submitted or supported a nomination in front of you on the screen. So again, congratulations to this year's Senior Award honorees. Each one of you will be introduced to offer remarks, so please stay tuned. As you imagine, there are many people who have been instrumental in supporting this event over the years, including faculty, Tufts leaders, alumni, and others. Especially now with alumni spread around the world, jumbos may stay in touch with fellow jumbos using the Tufts Alumni Directory. So please be sure to update your profiles and set your email preferences. I would like to now introduce this year's Senior Award honorees. After I announce a name, I'll read a brief citation, and then you may then share your remarks from the podium. So to begin, Claudia Goeta from Westport, Connecticut. Claudia, can you stand up so we all know who we're, there you go. Claudia, you represent the best and brightest of Tufts University. Throughout as a Laidlaw Research Fellow and your leadership at Tufts, you have worked tirelessly to facilitate more opportunities for students to learn about and engage directly with the carceral system. You've served as the student coordinator of the Tufts University Prison Initiative of Tisch College. And during your time in this role, have overseen the creation and expansion of different programs, both in and out of Massachusetts prisons, raising tens of thousands of dollars in crowdfunding and increasing student involvement on campus tenfold. In doing all of this, you have led this student group to critically examine mass incarceration and racial injustice through new lenses and contributed to a culture at Tufts that is committed to educational equity and action. Additionally, this semester, you have continued to integrate your academic interests and passions through the X-College, and in particular, the course that you developed and are co-teaching called Abolitionist Organizing, Community Reimagination, Liberation. After graduation, you will begin work toward your MD at the Tufts School of Medicine. Woo! Claudia, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is a privilege to honor you with the Tufts Senior Award for all that you've done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Hi. Firstly, it's just an absolute honor to receive this award. Thank you to the Alumni Association, the awards community, and university leadership for making this possible. Also, just so much gratitude for the people here with me also receiving this today. While I don't know all of you, I can feel the power that you bring to this room and to this school. To me, there is really nothing more important than community as relationship building and as reciprocal energy and unique personalities that just add more to a whole than we are individually. And I know that we could not and would not be the community that we are without each and every one of us. I want to thank my friends and my family for just constantly supporting me and being my anchors over these crazy last 4 years. I also want to thank my professors and my advisors in the community health and sociology departments. And I've been lucky enough to have phenomenal mentors at this school, only some of whom I'm naming today, but I'm holding a lot of appreciation for Adolfo Cuevas, who's taught me that academic research can actually be really important, for Dana Lehman-Grossman, who's taught me about the lots of dimensions of mentoring and how to facilitate and hold a space, and Hillary Binda, who just has made me the person that I am today. I, above all, need to thank our 40 students in the Tufts Bachelor's Degree and Bunker Hill Associate's Degree program at the Men's Medium Security Prison at MCI Concord, and our 25 formerly incarcerated students in the My Turn program, which is the Tufts Prison Initiative, or TUPIT's reentry program. I have pretty much dedicated my Tufts career to TUPIT, learning with incarcerated students during my first semester at Tufts to becoming a TA both inside the college and prison program and outside in the reentry program. And I can say with full confidence that this learning experience has entirely transformed my life. Learning with these students has influenced my educational path from one of the natural sciences to one that prioritizes civic engagement and equity and justice and thinking about health in broader contexts. The learning experience is like any other, where civic engagement is truly inevitable, and it's really impossible to leave a single conversation without feeling both compelled and equipped to create concrete and systematic change. I see that the educational experiences that we've all had that have brought us to an elite university like Tufts are ones that very few have access to, and that we have to fight for the redefinition of equity and justice together. And I see the power of the Tufts community and the really urgent need to spread our communities of radical love and care. My Turn and TUPIT students have taught me about empathy and healing and confidence and love, and that we really have no other option than to fight for justice together. And working in a space that fosters such interpersonal connection has taught me how much stronger each of us are amidst the relationships that we form. This community creation is exactly how we create social change. And so I'm leaving the Medford campus, going not very far to the Boston campus, as a completely different person than when I arrived. These relationships and experiences I've been granted over the last 4 years have guided me to find my purpose in this world and have taught me to be a change maker, and I just feel really lucky. So thank you.
John Ciosi Lazaire. John, you have chartered a unique path at Tufts in combining the academic study of human society, anthropology, with personal engagement in and beyond the Tufts community. During a gap year in Nicaragua, you taught and worked as a development facilitator. Upon coming to campus, you have been a pre-orientation peer leader, a program and outreach worker for the Tufts University Chaplaincy, and currently an organizer for a national interfaith leadership initiative for undergraduates. As noted by faculty in your letters of support, you have formed bonds with others in your core classes and become a leader, helping others surmount the challenges presented by the COVID pandemic, and are capping a Tufts career with your senior thesis, a historical ethnographic exploration of the manifestation of Tufts' pluralistic and humanistic ideals in campus spaces over time. Wow. John, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is a privilege to honor you with the Tufts Senior Award for all that you have done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you all for being here. My name is John Chochi Lazur, and I'm just so honored to be here with my peers, mentors, faculty. Thank you to the Tufts Alumni Association for organizing this and for honoring such wonderful, impressive students. It feels sort of unreal to me to be here alongside some of the student leaders that I have looked up to over the last 4 years. So thank you to my peers, those who are being honored here today and others, for really modeling what a tough student can look like, and for encouraging me to find the spaces on campus and over the last 4 years off campus as well, to find the authentic and personal growth that I have sought. I came into my freshman year with a lot of romanticized ideas of what college would look like for me, and some of those have come true. Taking classes that taught me how to read critically and efficiently, meeting friends through the serendipity that only a campus center can provide, and learning to live in my first rather dingy apartment. Through all of these experiences, though, there has been an unexpected and ubiquitous presence that had really made my student experience meaningful. And that was the support from peers, from faculty, from staff, from my family. Their mentorship, their patience, their love, and just simple encouragement when things got tough. When I sat down to prepare some remarks today, I realized that there were far too many people to thank by name or to even attempt to do justice. And so I'm going to turn to a cheat that I've learned in my interfaith work through the university chaplaincy, which is poetry. So I turn to the words and wisdom of Ross Gay, who is an incredible poet and someone that I look to often in times when I am questioning where to find joy or delight. Here is just the first stanza of his poem, Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude, a poem that has lived with me very closely over the last few months, and one that I hope captures a sliver of the feelings that I'm holding today. Friends, will you bear with me today, for I have awakened from a dream in which a robin made with its shabby wings a kind of veil, behind which it shimmied and stomped something from the south of Spain, its breast aflare, looking me dead in the eye. From that branch that grew into my window, coochie-cooing my chin. The bird shuffling its little talons left, then right, while the leaves bristled against the plaster wall, two of them drifting onto my blanket, while the bird opened and closed its wings like a matador, giving up on murder, jutting its beak, turning a circle, and flashing again the ruddy bombast of its breast, by which I knew upon waking it was telling me in no uncertain terms to bellow forth with the tubas and sousaphones the whole rusty brass band of gratitude. It said so in a human voice, bellow forth, and who among us could ignore such odd and precise counsel? Thank you.
Thank you, John. Ariel Ziedrich. Ariel, you're from Peoria, Illinois, and graduating with a BA in Community Health and minors in English and Studio Art. You're an active leader on campus, and within the community, you are on the varsity volleyball team, co-president of Athletics of Color, and the social justice head of the Student Athletic Advisory Board. You continue to explore how athletics can be more inclusive and welcoming to people of color. As a published poet and the Tufts representative for the Greater Boston Area Undergraduate Poetry Festival, you're passionate about the role art can play in lifting voices, bridging communities, and improving health. In addition, you have worked with Baby Steps, a statewide program that encourages families to start saving early for their child's education, and with the Office of Economic Empowerment, where you launched a Year of Equal Pay Massachusetts roundtable discussions about the gender wage gap. Ariel, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for all that you have done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Thank you for that kind introduction. It is such an incredible honor to receive this award, and thank you to the Tufts University Alumni Association, and also take a moment to recognize the amazing work of the other honorees. I was reading your guys' bios, and you're all phenomenal, beyond belief. Anyone who knows me knows I spend most of my time thinking about art in any and all forms. Which is why when I sat down to write this, I wanted to give something to everyone that I wanted to thank. So instead of just thanking you, I'm going to share all the streaks of art that you have shown me. Beginning with the poetry and how the community health department refuses to ignore injustices in our system. Academic theories and hands-on experience feed into one another, like watercolor bleeds down a wet page. Richness in graphite annotations and saturated questions found throughout the English department, vibrancy in the dried paint on the hands and the minds of art professors, all guides teaching us not how to read or make, but how to think and feel. The sound of my friends laughing is the soundtrack to this feature film of college, and supercuts of my team dancing need a spin-off of its own. I would be lost without them. I'm constantly in awe of the way my coaches, Coach T, Coach Risa, and the legendary Coach Terry, can turn charcoal sketches and ballpoint scribbles into pastel plays and colorful practices. My fellow e-board and all members of Athletes of Color are sculptures of strength in a garden that is just beginning to open its doors, and I'm beyond excited to see more statues come and join us. So thank you to every member of the faculty, staff, administration, student body, and athletic community here at Tufts that has guided me to a passage or dared me to try a new medium. You have shown me beauty in ways I could have never imagined. I hope that future students can walk onto campus, into classes, and onto teams, and find things they too deem worthy of collecting, to scrapbook, in a journal of their time here. Of course, the biggest of thanks go to all my family and friends back home and overseas for their unwavering love and care. My father's words and my mother's photographs are the first form of love I ever knew. Thank you for raising me on a steady diet of novels and gifting me sketchbooks in which to dream. And last but not least, to everyone who is no longer with us today, I see what you draw among the stars at night. I watch you paint with the colors of the sunrise, and sometimes, I swear, I can still hear you sing from down here. Thank you.
Emma Eggy. Originally from Ghana, you're a star who shines throughout the entire Tufts community. In addition to excelling in biomedical engineering as your major, you have pursued and served in countless leadership roles on campus, including Africana Community Senator, Black Student Union President, Africana Peer Leader, Teaching Assistant, and Squad Pre-Orientation Coordinator. Currently, you represent the entire Tufts undergraduate student population at the Tufts Community Union. And you're the president of that same organization, and made history by being elected the first Black female undergraduate student body president at Tufts. As TCU president and throughout your various other roles on campus, you have prioritized marginalized voices on Tufts campus and worked to help increase Black representation in positions of power. In addition, you work as a part-time content creator and have garnered over 11,200 followers on Instagram. During your free time, you like to paint, watch TV, and cook. Amma, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is a privilege to honor you with the Tufts Senior Award for all that you have done and continue to do for Tufts University and beyond. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for those remarks. Thank you to everyone here for helping me celebrate this honor and also all the honorees. Thank you to the Alumni Association for selecting me for this award. As I stand here now, I can remember freshman year Alma, and senior Alma is so far apart from freshman year Alma. It's kind of crazy. I came here thinking, okay, I'm going to be a biology major, pre-med track, and I'm just going to focus on my academics. And I'm neither of those. I am a biomedical engineering major, and I found myself doing a bunch of extracurriculars because that's just who I am. And if I didn't do that, then I wasn't reaching my full potential. I have held many positions at Tufts, and in each of these positions, I have learned different values that have made me who I am, and I'm so thankful for each one of those positions. And when I came here freshman year, I always wondered why I was at Tufts, like why did I get accepted here, like why me? And not until the end of junior year did I realize that I was actually meant to be here. I feel as though every position was kind of prepared for me. Every position was prepared for my growth and development. And so I'm very thankful to Tufts for all those opportunities because it has helped me become the woman I am today and a better version of myself. I want to thank my family and friends for always supporting me and being there every step of the way. I want to thank especially my mom because everybody knows my mom tries to push me to reach for the impossible sometimes, but that is my driving force, and so I always continue to reach for the stars. And I want to particularly thank Katrina because Katrina has been there for me since freshman year. She continues to push me out of my comfort zone. And everybody knows every single time something bad happens, I go knocking on Katrina's door. And she's always there to like console me, comfort me, ready to fight for me. And I'm so grateful to have her in my corner. And I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for Katrina. So a special thanks to you, Katrina. Thank you all.
I would like to now turn this process over to my co-chair, Peter Bronk.
Oh, thank you, Maria. Amber Asumda. Amber. Amber Asumda is a first-generation Ghanaian American majoring in international relations and minoring in entrepreneurship for social impact. She has had an impressive career at Tufts, combining leadership, public service, and academics. Some notable accomplishments relate to her involvement with the Africana Center and Tufts College of Civic Life. Specifically, she was a Tisch Scholar, a peer leader at the Africana Center. She chaired the Black Women's Empowerment Conference and was an intern at the Black Women's Collective. Amber extended her contributions to the Tufts community as an executive coordinator for the Tufts University Social Collective, where she helped support the experiences of students from undersupported backgrounds and also led teams in planning events such as Tuftonia's Day and Spring Fling. Amber, on behalf of Tufts University Alumni Association, it is our pleasure to present you with the Tufts Senior Award for your impressive accomplishments and hard work. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. I'd firstly like to thank the Alumni Association, my amazing peers, and everyone else here gathered today to celebrate myself and the other amazing accomplished seniors who have received the award today. So to start, my story is not a unique one. When I first came to Tufts from the suburbs of Georgia, it was a culture shock to say the least. It actually snowed here, and my hoodie could not cut it, and I needed a winter coat. But on a more serious note, on campus, it became quickly apparent that I was one of few minority students, one of few Black women, first-generation, low-income students. I came into Tufts knowing that I wanted to major in international relations, but, sorry, excuse me, I'm nervous. Oh, thank you. As a first-generation Ghanaian American, my family and international development has always been something that's so important to me. But being the only person of color and being one of the only Black students in my classes made me question if IR was the major for me and if Tufts was the school for me. By my sophomore year, I still didn't know what to do. I had become more involved on campus, but I still felt inadequate and lost. But in the pandemic, being able to go home and reset was what I needed most. In the summer of 2020, with the death of Breonna Taylor and highlighting various racial inequalities in this country, I started to think about, while hashtag Protect Black Women was trending online, who was protecting Black women students in institutions like Tufts? Like myself, institutions of higher education, where we come to get an education, I find that myself and my peers, at least, we find ourselves about the support we need to truly thrive in academic and professional spaces. That summer and the following year, my team and I developed the first inaugural Black Women's Empowerment Conference held, held under the Tufts Africana Center. While with creating this conference, I didn't want other young Black women in educational spaces to feel like I felt. I wanted Black women to know that we are capable and we are here to take space. And in March 2021, we held the inaugural Black Women's Empowerment Conference virtually and had over 200 registrants of Black women undergrad and graduate students across the Northeast. We held over 40 speakers, all Black women professionals who were thriving in fields of law, medicine, tech, to name a few, and were eager to share their knowledge and network with Black women students at PWIs in particular who were hoping to do the same. And 1 year later, my team and I are getting ready to hold the second annual Black Women's Empowerment Conference this Saturday. I say all this to say that none of this would have been possible without the network and support that I've received from this university. The way that I feel about Tufts now is a long way from how I felt during my first few years here. In a way, it took for the separation and being remote during a global pandemic for me to feel even more connected with this university and to feel the love and the support that I truly have here. As I receive this award, but more so as I graduate and start this next chapter of my life, I would like to firstly thank my mother, my family, my friends, and God for getting me here. I would also like to thank all of my mentors and supporters I've had in this journey. To name a few, Brianda Hernandez, Katrina Moore, Professor Pearl Robinson, and John Westcott. I am truly honored to receive the Senior Award of this year. Thank you all for your time.
Emma Downey. Emma Downey from Georgia is a biomedical engineering major with a nearly perfect GPA. You are also, according to one of your professors, a force of nature, bold, smart, motivated, and creative. You arrived at Tufts knowing that you wanted to do research. You joined Dr. Georgakoudi's team as a sophomore and studied neuronal growth in 3D tissue culture. You then took full advantage of the Tufts co-op program, first at Insulet Corporation working in systems engineering, and then at Moderna Therapeutics, where you worked on lipid nanoparticle process development. Currently, you are conducting research on neurodegenerative diseases at Bolden Therapeutics and in Dr. David Kaplan's lab here at Tufts. Before coming to Tufts, you spent a gap year and participated in a range of volunteer service projects in Southeast Asia, China, and South America. At Tufts, you are an outreach coordinator for the Leonard Carmichael Society for tutoring, an engineering ambassador for first-year students, a lead presenter for the Sunrise Hub that educates communities on climate change, and you are active in the Society of Women Engineers, Society of Biomedical Engineers, Girls in STEM Mentoring, and the Tufts Mountain Club, one of my favorites. Emma, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for all that you have done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. All right, let me get my little speech out here. All right, so I want to thank you all for coming, and especially those who are here for me. I know that I didn't tell you all to register soon enough. Sorry about that. So I just want to start off by saying how excited I am to be here today. I don't think many people around the nation can talk about how much they adored their college experience and mean it. I owe my ability to do that to the wonderful community at Tufts that I've found here over the last few years. My first thank you goes out to specifically the BME department. I really wouldn't be anywhere without the amazing BME faculty and the very fun and supportive community of BMEs graduating this year. One of my biggest thank yous especially goes out to David Kaplan. I didn't think that he would be here today, but I'm excited to see him. And he has been the best advisor and mentor I could ask for. And there are a few other people I've met that are as inspiring and supportive as him. So thank you, David. I remember waltzing into his office for first year advising and basically talking to him straight for 10 minutes about all of the things that I wanted to accomplish at Tufts and, giving him all of this information. And at the end of it, he just nodded and said, "Great, also you should go abroad." And, and I did. So he's been really incredible, and of course to all of the other BME faculty. I really can't thank the BME department enough. It's truly incredible, and I really don't think I would have had a better experience anywhere else in the world other than under the faculty's guidance and mentorship. I also owe a thank you to a few of my lovely friends and all-time favorite people who are here today, although we joke that not all of them are here for me, but that's okay. I still love you guys. And I want to thank the Alumni Association for choosing me as one of the 12. And I'd also like to congratulate my fellow recipients for all their achievements. Reading everyone's bios on the website and seeing all that you guys have accomplished was amazing. And it's really an honor to be able to stand next to you all. And of course, my last and most important thank you is for my family and for the endless and unconditional love and support. It has been a great comfort knowing that you guys would support me whether I wanted to do engineering, English, fine arts, or even if I wanted to drop out altogether and live in the woods. Thanks, Sam. To end, I'd like to reiterate that I feel so honored and grateful to be here today, and thank you very much. I forgot my award.
Olives Soboka Hordofa. Olif Hordofa is a mechanical engineering and mathematics double major from Ethiopia. You completed your high school education in South Africa at the African Leadership Academy, the ALA, an institution aimed at developing the next generation of African leaders. Passionate about transformational leadership and education, you hope to contribute to the betterment of the world through scientific research. You are actively engaged in youth empowerment projects across Africa, and you commit the same energy to the campus community as a tutor and a learning assistant with the physics, mathematics, and mechanical engineering departments. Your leadership is illustrated in your work with the Center for Engineering Education and Outreach, when you helped to develop the curriculum and educational content for statics and dynamics courses in the mechanical engineering department. You are a member of Tau Beta Pi, the Engineering Honor Society, and have served on the boards of the National Society of Black Engineers, Engineering Students Council, Math Society, and the Eritrean Ethiopian Students Association. You have also been an active voice in diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice efforts, working closely with the Tufts School of Engineering and serving on the DEIJ board in the mathematics department. Olif, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for all that you have done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Welcome, good afternoon. This is surreal. To the Tufts Alumni Association, thank you for honoring us with this award and organizing this ceremony. To my fellow honorees, congratulations, you deserve this. I would like to take this opportunity to thank those who have played a role in getting me up to this stage today. It's a long list, but I'll mention a few. First, glory to God. My #1 supporters and cheerleaders, my parents and my family, some of whom are back in Ethiopia streaming this feed in the middle of the night, thank you. I wouldn't have gotten to where I am if it wasn't for your sacrifices. Peter and Kathy Feynman, my amazing host parents, I am very thankful to have you in my corner at all times, no matter what. When life threw a curveball at me, you shielded me, thank you. Janelle Blood, you helped set the tone for me at Tufts by always lending me your ears and offering your kind advice. Thank you. My advisors, Professor Jeffrey Guasto and Professor Boris Hasselblad. Thank you for your guidance and words of wisdom that kept me energized for the past 4 years. Brianna Bouchard, you're a rock star. The role you've played in my academic journey here at Tufts is unimaginable. You always knew what to say and inspired me to keep going. Professor Chris Rogers, my mentor, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for always seeing the best in me, pushing me to reach higher and dream bigger. To all my professors in the mechanical engineering department and mathematics department, thank you for your input and guidance, for creating a fostering environment for your students, being flexible and understanding in these trying times. You deserve the utmost gratitude. I would like to finish off with a short personal anecdote. In my freshman year, I was seated in front of this very building after a long day of studying at the Ginn Library with two of my very close friends, Alexander El Daif and Judy Charamont. In the midst of one of our conversations, these two individuals took a bet on me. They said that they see me being honored like this upon graduation. Real story. At a time I was mourning the loss of my grandfather, when things seemed harder, they saw this for me before I did for myself. In the spirit of Ubuntu, which is a South African term, I am because we are. My friends who have helped me create a home away from home, I am forever indebted to you. You all have taught me that as long as we have real friends who support you at all times, challenge you to grow and improve, and call you on your blunder, you are okay. Surround yourself with such people. My dear friends, thank you so much. I am because you are. My fellow honorees, congratulations once again. Thank you so much.
Ellie Murphy. Ellie Murphy is a senior, double majoring in sociology and international relations. Your work and achievements have the central theme of investigating gender issues of international importance through a sociological lens focusing on equity and equality. You have addressed gender issues through your investigative and thoughtful writings. One notable essay you wrote was about the role of gender in the Rwandan genocide. As an intern for the United Nations Population Fund in 2020, you wrote case studies of UN reproductive health care initiatives. Your work in gender and international relations continued in 2021 as you worked with Professor Beardsley to research the role of mentorship via focus groups in the Marianne Undo Girls' School in Rwanda. You made a difference on campus as well. Women in International Relations was founded at Tufts in 2019 to provide resources for women studying international relations, and you were an integral member since the organization's inception. You became the co-president, and the group received the Tufts New Student Organization of the Year Award in 2020. Ellie, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for all that you have done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much to the Alumni Association for having me today. Emma and I were in the same focus group, so it's so full circle to be a senior now and reflecting on this journey that we've all had together. It's been so wonderful hearing about the accomplishments of all of my peers, and I'm just really grateful to share this space with you all today. The work that I've been able to do at Tufts, particularly with women's empowerment in the fields of international relations and education, has really just been me trying to meet the high standard set by my peers to foster a supportive community at Tufts. When I look around on campus, there are so many students who could be here in my place. Every student I know is passionate about their respective organization at Tufts. So whether that's Best Buddies, which helps Tufts students form friendships with individuals in the greater Boston area with intellectual and developmental disabilities, or if that's, I lost my place. Or if that's Active Minds, which works to foster a more inclusive dialogue about mental health on campus. I draw my inspiration from my friends who are all committed to using civic engagement as a tool to support one another and the community as a whole. I wanted to thank those who have mentored me and helped me find my sense of community here. The organizations, as you've mentioned, Women in International Relations and Tufts Traveling Treasure Trunk, have defined my experience at Tufts, namely through forming such meaningful friendships that will last much longer than this date. My professors have taught me how to learn and think critically, especially Professor Beardsley, whose mentorship has taught me so much about women's education around the world through the Marinundo Initiative, and how important it is in research to form meaningful connections with others. Finally, my friends and family, namely my parents who are watching right now online, have defined who I am and what I value, and they are just always so uplifting and supportive, so I hold you in my heart today. Thank you again, and thank you to the nominees, and congratulations to you all.
I would now like to introduce Peter Brodeur, Awards Committee Co-Chair, who will then introduce our last 4 honorees.
Hello, I really am this young looking under the mask. I don't know how old, where they found that photograph. Okay. Joseline Ragulotto. Joseline, you're from Lawrence, Massachusetts, and you have had an incredible 4 years at Tufts and will leave a remarkable legacy for the entire Tufts community. Your motto is surely, seize the day, every day. You have a passion for civil rights and issues around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And in your numerous letters of support, you were described by faculty members as being one of the most impressive students they have known, a remarkable person, truly compassionate, empathetic, and a community builder. You have used your intellect to succeed in the classroom, which is evident from your 3.9 GPA. As a sociology major with a minor in dance, you found ways to express yourself in both. Importantly, you have developed your leadership ability by seeking out ways to develop new skills and honing your skills in speaking. You have used these skills in numerous activities and organizations that you have been involved with during your college years. As a first-generation Latina student, you participated in the Bridge to Liberal Arts Success at Tufts, the BLAST program, and took on leadership roles as a mentor, supervisor, committee intern, and then engaged with alumni to create a network between them and students. You are a peer leader and teacher assistant at the First Resource Center, which supports first-generation, low-income, and/or undocumented students. And you firmly embody the notions of paying it forward, active citizenship, and academic excellence. Your resume is extensive, and it shows the many facets of your college life. You have done research in the Verse Summer Scholar Program, traveled to Tübingen and become an ambassador for that program, participated in the Tufts with Rwanda Fellowship, worked in the Ginn Library, and have served as a teacher assistant at Charlestown High School and stage manager and dancer with the Envy Step Team. Joseline, on behalf of the Tufts Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Senior Award for all you have done for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joseline, or Jos, better known as Jos, Ragulotto. I don't do well at talking about myself in any capacity, so I want to spend my time saying thank you. I want to start by thanking the Alumni Association and the awards committee for this award, and all those involved in making this ceremony possible. I am so humbled to be receiving this award and sharing this moment with all of you. especially my fellow honorees who have all done phenomenal work. It is a privilege to share this award with you all. If there is one thing that I have learned at Tufts, it is the importance of the community and collective efforts, and my success is no exception. I must recognize the endless amount of support that has gotten me to this point. Starting with all my amazing professors and faculty, particularly those in the sociology and education departments and the Department of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies. I have been blessed with some of the most intelligent and compassionate faculty. I also want to endlessly, and I really emphasize endlessly, thank all of the staff at Tufts that work so diligently to keep Tufts working. Thank you to all the programs that I have been lucky enough to be a part of. Verse and the Dice Lab, IES to Begin Germany, Tufts in Rwanda, Blast, Civic Pathways, and my dance programs. I have had a lot of first experiences at Tufts. It was my first time out of the country, my first time facilitating my own classrooms, and my first time cleaning research data, something I never thought I was capable of doing. I am always learning, and these programs have impacted me on a personal and professional level that has fostered my growth. I, of course, want to thank all of my loved ones. I am very lucky to consistently have unwavering support from my friends and family. Marcos Regalado, Maite Regalado, Andralyn Ruiz, and Michelle Nguyen. They're here today. I have to shout them out, or they will get mad at me later, so I have to say their names. They have always supported my decisions, though sometimes they probably shouldn't. That's okay. And I especially want to say thank you to the first director, Jared Smith. As a supervisor, mentor, and advisor, you have always been there for me when I needed you most without fail. He's not in the room right now, but I'm sure he's watching at home. And lastly, and I think most importantly, I want to take a moment and thank all of those who came before me, who have founded and fostered the work and communities that I am standing here being recognized for today. Thank you.
Christian Senegal. A Liverpool, New York native majoring in biology and community health, Christian Senegal is passionate about advancing healthcare access by leveraging technology, data-driven decision-making, and community perspectives. When you arrived on campus, you joined Tufts Project Share, which became a core part of your experiences here. As its president, you worked with other students in support of the universal right to healthcare. With the Tufts University Social Collective, you coordinated programming ranging from a unique campus-wide event for the 2020 presidential election to an entire week of celebration for graduating seniors. Beyond Tufts, you have explored healthcare from many vantage points. You studied innovative substance use prevention with Dr. Margie Skier at Tufts School of Medicine, worked with Pfizer to test a medication that would reduce the risk of psoriasis and liver-related mortality for those with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And you worked at the Massachusetts General Hospital's Mongan Institute to research methods of improving cancer treatment adherence rates through implementing new e-health interventions. Your commitment to advance healthcare access is apparent in all you do. Christian, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for all you have done and continue to do for Tufts and for the entire community. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. It's so exciting to be up here in front of everyone, and I'm so glad to be here. I really want to thank the Tufts University Alumni Association for bringing us all together for a time to reflect and celebrate on everything we've done and experienced over the past 4 years. I'll admit that initially coming to Tufts was difficult. I've lived in upstate New York my entire life. I was born to a hairdresser and a secretary, which is not the traditional background we see represented here among the student body. But with that, I have met such amazing people and have gained such an amazing support system at this university. I really want to take this time to thank everyone that has allowed me to be here and supported, I know, everyone around here as well. First, I really want to thank my academic advisors, Shalini Tendulkar and Lauren Crow. Dr. Tendulkar has spent countless hours with me, exploring my passions, connecting me with amazing people, and has just supported me in many other ways over the past 4 years. Dr. Crow has kept me organized and ensured that I never missed a deadline. Furthermore, I've had amazing support from many mentors I've had over these past 4 years. 2 in particular stand out. Olivia Kaplan, who's actually a Tufts Community Health alum, has responded to so many of my emails, has sat with me in a cafe in Davis for many hours throughout the last 4 years, just talking over everything that I've gone through and things that I'm trying to pursue and finding out a way to get there. And then Dr. Anne-Marie Richards, a patient engagement lead at Pfizer, who has truly made me very excited to pursue a career in healthcare following here that is patient-centered and health equity first. I also want to thank all of the professors that I've had for pushing myself, and I know I've pushed others to be the best that they can be on any given day, whatever that may look like. I want to thank all of the members of TUSC and then Project Share for accomplishing such amazing things, as well as constantly advocating to make the world a more inclusive and equitable place. I want to thank my boyfriend of the past 4 years for supporting me relentlessly and encouraging me endlessly as well, and to my family for always being just a phone call away. It's such an honor to be here with such incredible people. The speeches have been absolutely amazing tonight. I'm very excited to see what everyone accomplishes in their next chapter of life, and thank you again, everyone.
Alex Viveros. It is with great enthusiasm that we recognize Alex Viveros with a 2022 Senior Award. Alex, you're graduating with a double major in biology and community health, and having remained on the dean's list throughout. During your time at Tufts, you have served in multiple capacities at the Tufts Daily, including editor-in-chief, beginning in May 2020. During this tumultuous time, you used this platform to keep Tufts informed of pandemic-related issues, created a comprehensive COVID-19 dashboard for Tufts campuses, and built a stronger sense of community at a critical time. You founded the science section of the Daily and served as co-chair of the Intentionality and Inclusivity Committee to promote better ethical transparency and intentionality with the Daily's reporting of the Tufts community. Last summer, you interned at Science Magazine, where you reported on engineering and biology-related topics. You are an industrious investigator, engaged student of the world, and embodiment of the type of leader Tufts hopes to produce. Alex, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for fulfilling the jumbo values of service, community, and leadership that are so highly held by the Tufts University Alumni Association. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Alex, and if you would have told me 4 years ago that I'd be standing in front of you today, I wouldn't have believed you. When I came to Tufts, I thought I had a surefire plan of how my 4 years would go. I would take as many classes as I could, join a couple of low-key clubs, that didn't happen, pass my pre-med courses, and go on to become a doctor. I am no longer pre-med, so that didn't happen either. At 18 years old, I thought I had my whole life planned out for me. I still remember the first midterm I ever took at Tufts, which was for Bio 13. I was so nervous that I did everything I could to do well on it. But the night before the test, I got a message from an editor at our school's newspaper, the Tufts Daily, which I had joined a few weeks earlier on a complete whim. It turns out I had messed up the due date for my first ever article in the paper, and my editor said it needed to be ready for the next morning before I took my test. When I realized my mistake, I freaked out. But rather than ask for an extension, I decided to stay up until 3 a.m. to get the article done. I had no clue what I was doing, and by the time I finished the article, I was so stressed out that I promised I would never write for the paper again. But the next day, I picked up a copy of the Daily and saw my name in print for the first time. I was filled with an overwhelming sense of pride that I had never felt before, so I decided that I would give writing one more shot. I also ended up doing well on that first bio test, so that's always a plus, you know? One article became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8, 8 became 62, I think. And eventually, I found myself as the editor-in-chief of the Tufts Daily during the fall of 2020. For obvious reasons, being in charge of a student paper during the fall of 2020 was pretty challenging, but I was supported by an incredibly talented staff who ended up becoming some of my best friends, 2 of which are sitting over there. Rebecca and Jilly got me through that semester, so thank you. We each worked over 40 hours a week in the rundown basement of Curtis Hall to keep the paper afloat that semester. And I know that for myself and many of my fellow journalists, both at Tufts and elsewhere, it felt like we were doing something by reporting the Tufts community story in what was a super uncertain phase of the pandemic. So, if you get anything from my speech today, I implore you to support student journalists. The Tufts Daily is special because every word, every photo, every podcast, and every line on the page reflects an artistic choice and a collective record of what a community of thousands of undergrads is thinking on any day. Our work wouldn't be possible without our audience, so thank you. And thank you to all the members of the Daily who gave me a great 4 years that I never would have expected. Thank you.
Lydia Wildiasis. Lydia is an Eritrean American and first-generation college student from Arlington, Virginia, who will graduate with a degree in political science and civic studies. Prior to and while at Tufts, you have been passionate about working with systemically oppressed people. As a Tisch Scholar, you have worked with St. Stephen's youth programs, Jumbo Vote, Boston City Councilor Kenzie Bach, and the Massachusetts Law Reform Institute. Additionally, you have been involved in the Africana Center through the Pan-African Alliance and the Ladies of Essence. As an intern with the First Resource Center, you co-ran the Yes and summer internship program and co-taught the First Seminar, a weekly seminar for first-year, first-generation college students. Lydia, on behalf of the Tufts University Alumni Association, it is my honor to bestow upon you the Tufts Senior Award for all you have done and continue to do for Tufts and the larger community. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. I know I'm the last one. Thank you for sticking it out. That's what I get since 3rd grade for my last name being a W. First of all, thank you to the Tufts Alumni Association for bringing us together and celebrating us today. I also want to thank my nominators and mentors on this campus who have helped me get to senior year with the most sanity possible. To my family, both biological and chosen, thank you for your unwavering support and inspiring me to dream bigger every day. As I thought about what I wanted to talk about today, I felt compelled to share my origin story. Challenged by colonial forces since at least the 15th century, I come from a long line of Eritrean revolutionaries and radical community leaders, including my father, who joined the Eritrean Revolution for Independence when he was just 20 years old. Ancestors who never accepted the status quo and challenged me to do the same today. I was raised to be fearless. The autobiography of Assata Shakur has been a guiding text for me over the past few years, and I wanted to share a quote with all of you today. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. This generational and historical burden is undergirded with hope, one that can envision that another world is possible. The spirits and stories of my foremothers and fathers uplift me when change seems impossible and ground me in my communities in love when the work is overwhelming. The community and family I have found here is something that I will be eternally grateful for. The work that I'm being recognized for today has transformed so much in depth and devotion because of my peers. From student-led movements to abolish TUPD, provide mutual aid and food pantries to community members throughout the pandemic, to fight for the liberation of Palestinians, hire more faculty members of color, and more recently create the new Indigenous Center, and much, much more. I have been pushed in so many ways that I could have never imagined when I matriculated to this university in August of 2018. Thank you all. Thank you to all of you, and I stand here celebrating you all today. I'm leaving Tufts knowing that I can do anything that I set my mind to. Nothing can be more violently taxing than the last 4 years, 3 of which were in the midst of a global pandemic, claiming the lives of too many. As I leave Tufts, I hold immense gratitude for the Black and first-gen low-income students that have come before me, who made it easier for me to be here, and I hope that I've contributed to that legacy for future classes. Thank you.
So I'd just like to echo what comment Maria Madison made at the opening, that this is an amazing group of students selected from another larger amazing group of students selected from a huge amazing group of students here at Tufts. And I'd like, before we move on, to just give a round of applause to all 12. And now, Maria will introduce President Monaco.
The world is in good hands. It's now my pleasure to introduce Anthony Monaco, the 13th president of Tufts University. As you may know, Tony joined Tufts in 2011, coming from Oxford University, where he was a top administrative leader, the pro-vice chancellor for planning and resources. Tony also had a distinguished career in the sciences. A graduate of Princeton University and Harvard Medical School, he has led the pathway of innovation and using genetics to help unravel diseases such as muscular dystrophy and autism. Thank you, Tony, for being part of this celebration. And I invite you up to say thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here in person after 2 years, but also welcome to all those that are joining us virtually. First, I want to thank the Alumni Association. They've been doing these awards since 1955. I don't think it's gotten any easier to choose amongst all our wonderful students, but they have to, and they need to choose the students that really show not only academic performance at the highest level, but also caring so much about this community and making it a better place than when they arrived. So thank you to Maria, Peter, and the awards committee. To the Senior Award honorees, the last 2 years have certainly been the most challenging that I've experienced in my life, and I'm much older than you, so that means that for you, this has got to be really one of the most incredible things you've overcome. And to hear your stories and how you kept your education going despite all these daunting challenges really is inspiring. But I also heard in every story how much you cared and were committed to our community, and not only our community, but the communities surrounding us. And people always ask me, why was I so aggressive in bringing everyone back? Not only did I know the science was behind us, but I know that our students and our student leaders cared more about their community than they did about themselves. And that was why we were so successful. So I want to just also thank you for the variety of public service activities. You heard so many of them, which really helps those locally, and you heard a lot of stories about international work that these students did. Soon you're going to join that worldwide group of Tufts community as alumni. So I hope you'll join and engage with the Tufts University Alumni Association. I very much go out to see them before the pandemic at least, and we'll be doing a lot more of that in the next year. But it is a way, either as volunteering for prospective students or joining one of the boards of advisors or even to the Board of Trustees. There are many ways in which you can serve and volunteer to make Tufts better even after you graduate. As you heard many of the speakers say, they didn't get here on their own. The faculty and staff, many were mentioned. I know all of these faculty and staff because not only are they mentoring these students and supporting them, they are also stellar faculty and staff in supporting the university. They're always the faculty and staff that say yes when we ask them to do something. So it doesn't surprise me that they were the mentors of these incredible students. To the parents and families, we all know we couldn't have gotten to where we are in life without our parents and the support of our families. They are a constant for many of us, and if we didn't have them, it would be incredibly difficult to overcome the many daunting challenges of college. Well, I just want to also say that this has always been one of my favorite events each spring. I'm glad that we were able to do it in person. And I just want to congratulate the seniors once again. Thank you so much for everything you've done for this university and probably will continue to do for this university after you graduate. We really appreciate that commitment, your drive to excellence, and most importantly, how much you care about others around you. So with that, I thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the event.
Thank you, President Monaco. It's been a wonderful ceremony, and I again want to congratulate the honorees and thank everyone who contributed to this event. I want to do a special word of appreciation to the woman who actually helped us organize all of this and did quite a bit of the yeoman's work with the committee, and that's Joda Glossner, if you could stand up. And the Office of Alumni Relations. So on behalf of Tufts University Alumni Association and my extraordinary co-chairs, we are tremendously impressed by everything we've heard today and inspired. And personally, I am a little bit more optimistic this afternoon about the future of the world than I was when I came in the room. So we're so impressed by your work and are proud to call you fellow Jumbos. Congratulations.